your presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in London.
What's he doing in London?
Exactly. What's he doing in London? He cannot rest in Lagos. They will not let him rest. So he came into Abuja most of the time. They will still not let him rest. This man has been working for an average of 20 hours in the 24 hours in each day. So reasonable people thought, Oga, you need to leave this country because they will not let you rest. The campaign is coming soon. You will not even have any time. So as to have proper...
So you're saying the campaign is coming soon. The campaign has started.
Yeah, it has started.
You would have thought he'd taken his break before the campaign.
Well, that is the issue. We thought he could take the break by coming to Abuja. But they're not letting him take the break. And as I speak with you, the issue of today that is being made a big issue with, the invitation for the peace accord came after he has left the country. Even the deputy, his running mate, Senator Kashim Shettima, was not in town. He had to leave what he was doing in Maiduguri and rush down to Lagos today. So these are things that people need to understand. He's not...
Well, if Kashim Shettima could have come
because
down,
he's in the country.
Perhaps Tinubu himself.
There's a difference. One is in London, one is in Maiduguri. Let's get this.
But you have to agree that's the second major public event.
No, there's no major event. The MBA event is no major for us. It's just one organization. Any organization can invite you. The Chartered Institute of Bankers can invite you.
Yeah, but when you start missing these things, it starts raising speculation.
The one that's... Okay, let me give you an example. My leader, Kashim Shettima, was in the MBA event. Can you remember the title or the topic of discussion? They were busy talking about his canvas. They were busy talking about his tie. So these are issues that are not important. If they were important, nobody would be thinking about how the man dressed. They will be thinking about what he said. So these are not important issues. The real issue for us is for Bola Tinubu to engage with Nigerians. And I assure you,
he's not doing
but he has 5 months to do that. No, Charles, let's not do this. He has 5 months to engage with Nigerians.
There's no need shouting. You're starting to sound like the people that we always get from the APC. They shout instead of making their points.
No, because you were talking while I'm talking.
Yeah.
So the truth is, he has 5 months to engage with Nigerians. And it is just 1 day out of 5 months.
Clarify a point for us.
Okay.
And we'll move on.
Okay.
It's being suggested that he's in a hospital in London getting medically pumped up to allow him to be able to survive the grueling 5 months on the campaign hustings. Is that true?
We hate to do this, but a picture had to be released today of visitors that he had today with him, Baba Konde and one other lady. I forgot her name now. We didn't need to do that. We just had to do it. He's in his house in London. He's not in any hospital. People need to stop this. He has been reported that he was sick. He couldn't run for the primaries. You know what happened the moment the primaries ended. This man went to every aspirant. And in the last couple of weeks before he traveled, he has been everywhere from Gombe to Bauchi to Oyo to Ogun State. He's gone everywhere. And he's been receiving too many visitors. Right. But people around thought, look, you need to rest.
But again, clarify this point. And I don't want to belabor the point.
All right, Charles.
But he was absent from something as crucial as today's event, which is a peace accord that the ruling party should be seen spearheading along with its candidate.
The invitation came after he has left the country. There's nothing we could do about that.
But shouldn't he have been here to launch his political campaign? Let's just be clear on that, because you've got all the leading candidates. They're all here at the kickoff of the campaign. It's almost like he's taking the electorate for granted by not being there to start the campaign and show that he's enthusiastic. Well, you're saying stop it. Why is he not there?
We have 5 months, for heaven's sake. You're talking as if we have just 2 weeks for this campaign.
No, but the start of the campaign is crucial.
The end of it is actually more crucial. We are Nigerians. You know that adage, the masquerade that dances first eventually end up as a spectator to see that the big masquerade is coming out. Let's not make a big deal out of it.
I like that.
That's the biggest masquerade in town. So the smaller ones can do all they want to
Well,
do.
I
The big one will
I don't
come.
think the PDP or the Labour Party would agree that they're small fry.
Who has the most number of governors? Who has the most number of senators? Who has the
issue
matter
is
how
that
you want
you're
to argue
going
this,
into an election.
no matter how you want to argue this, Charles, we are the biggest.
Okay, let's
our
talk.
candidate is the biggest. Masquerade who is coming out later on. Let the smaller ones do all the dance. They will sit down to watch the bigger one.
Well,
do it
let me ask you: do not take the electorate for granted.
No, we will never do that. If we did
And
that,
don't,
I will not.
don't have the arrogance
Charles,
of power.
If we take them for granted, we will not have a campaign council. Okay, you are talking about this now. I am here to represent him. We have a lot of other people to represent our candidate. Some party don't even have a campaign council. They have their candidate hopping from station to station, doing overload, overexposure on air. So let's try and understand this. We're working as a team here.
Yeah, but
and I can assure you clearly that when Asiwaju comes in, I can assure you without equivocation, he's going to engage Nigerians.
But do you know where Bola Tinubu is now?
I just told you now he's in his house in London.
Because we're also getting reports that he's in Paris.
No, he's in London as of today.
Okay.
And like I want to say this,
right.
Anybody who wants to make any allegations, they have the right to prove it.
Right. Okay. Now there are reports of escalating tensions within the APC over the membership of that campaign council. You touched on it at the beginning. Suggestions that its inauguration has been postponed indefinitely. What light can you shed on it?
Well, I actually said what happened.
Well, can you shed that light
and
again?
then we already have, I think some people just want, because some parties are already having a lot of problems, they just want the APC to also have problems. And we don't have a problem. Because a silly news was released yesterday that the national chairman of the party wrote a phantom letter to the candidate, which was not the truth. The national chairman was forced to come and deny it. Why are people trying to create fire where there is none? We explained the issue. We explained the issue. The issue is the leadership of the campaign council has been officially released to the public. However, there are members that will fill in, you can't have directorate with just 3 or 4 people. If you look at the list, each of the directorate have just 4, 5 people. So that is clearly the head, the deputy, the secretary, the deputy secretary. So the membership of each campaign council, of each campaign council directorate is already with the right authority, which will be released to the public, probably through the social media.
Right.
And so we don't have any issue. Honestly,
and just be clear that we're not trying to leap down on you from.
No, it's not about you. I'm actually
we're
using
trying to
this
clarify
to clear. I'm actually using to clarify to entire Nigeria.
And in the process of that clarification, I have to ask you: is it true that APC governors are unhappy with the original list, and it had to be withdrawn and tinkered with in order to accommodate their interests?
This was what happened.
Right.
When the list was released, governors naturally have to ask questions. Where are the people whose name my state submitted? And the answers are what I just gave you now. And they are satisfied with the answers.
Right. So when is that? When are we going? When
as
are
I
you going to inaugurate
before I came in
your
tonight,
council?
before I came in tonight, I asked clearly.
Right.
The list is ready. Even the letters are ready. So I think we are entering the end of the week. If it doesn't come out this week, it should come out the first thing next week.
Right.
So and the inauguration of the campaign council will be determined by the leadership. I think that should also be next week.
Yeah, but you have to admit that going forward, you have not yet got off the starting block, whereas the PDP and the Labour Party appear to have done that. In light of all this, how confident are you going forward?
You say the PDP has... What has the PDP done? They are fighting. People are withdrawing from their council.
They're getting on with their campaign.
They are not getting on with anything.
Well,
they are fighting.
They are.
But I'm not here to talk about them. And as for Labour that you keep talking about, they don't even have a campaign council. They only have a candidate who has been jumping from every station to every station. So these are not
they
issues.
argue that their strategy is different from yours.
No. So maybe our own strategy is also not to release our campaign council.
Yeah, but at least we're seeing their candidate.
Yeah, we're seeing him giving
and we're seeing
babus
them,
figures
that
we can't confirm.
Talking to the public.
And then he's been telling a lot of nonsense. He was here recently to say that he went to to Egypt, and they said there was no any electrical issue between Nigeria. But we all know that Siemens is in Germany, and we are all seeing Siemens bringing equipment to Nigeria. So coming to TV is not the issue. It is having something reasonable to tell Nigerians, not just talking to Nigerians because you want to talk. You must talk and you must have something very meaningful to say to Nigerians. And hopefully when our candidate talks to Nigerians, we will have very reasonable things to tell them, things Nigerians need to hear. Because clearly there are challenges in the country, and we need to tell Nigerians, look, these are the challenges.
Right.
And these are the strategies we have put in place to combat those challenges. That is what a candidate should do. Not just coming to TV to cry about the problems, and then cry about the problems, and then scaremonger everybody. That's not what we want to do. We want to tell Nigerians, look, these are the problems, but clearly we know the answers to the problems, and that's what we want to do.
Right. So just to be clear, we've got about a minute left.
Okay.
You are hand on heart reassuring Nigerians that your presidential candidate, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, isn't too ill to work.
Too ill?
Or to take part in
He's
this
not
campaign.
ill at all. He is fine. Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is as fine as any human being should be at his age.
Right, okay. Ayo, I want to thank you very much.
Thank
indeed.
you, Charles.
It's always a pleasure having you on the program.
It's a pleasure having you.
And it's also, I mean, we're very glad that you've tried to clarify some of the points. We will now watch and see whether the things you said match the realities that have
hopefully
been,
like I said, the
take
letters will come out, and
weeks.
I'm sure by next week we won't be having this argument about governors not having list, and so these things will be out hopefully by next week. Hopefully, because I did when you called me, I made sure I took my time to clarify where we were and where we are, and now I can tell you that what I tell you now is the reality as at right now.
Right, okay. Ayo Oyalawa is a member of the